Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Real Estate Talk. My name is Dave. This is Jay Investor. And I forgot your name. All right, hold on.
Well, you haven't decided what your name is.
You still think it's Realtor. I don't know if you realize every episode I hesitate on my name. I'm like, my name is. I forgot my name.
You gotta own it.
All right,
just own it.
All right, let's think of a name right now.
Look into it and just
top
say
of your
the
head.
name.
Top of your head, just say it. What do you think?
I'm thinking the Realtor. I don't know. You name yourself, right? It's like have my friend name my kid.
When you name it, I know, but it's just, when you say, what do you think?
I own it. Jay Investor here. How you guys doing?
But Jay Investor sounds so cool.
You like that? But it's really because of my name, Jay, and what I do. Jay Investor.
I know, but D.
All right.
You know what I mean?
I get it.
I guess the letter D doesn't really go with.
Okay.
Much.
All right. Cool.
Whatever.
So we're gonna talk about some cool stuff today, right?
Yeah.
This is episode 6.
That's it.
Wow.
Episode 6.
The hell?
Took 6 months.
Not to them, right? We're gonna release them all in one shot.
Yes. Yes.
But we're gonna talk about.
My beard was actually really small when we started. And
is it? It's a little go.
That's it. Man.
I just try to make sure I shave right before I do
this. Oh, yeah. That probably grows overnight.
Smaller.
Though. Yeah?
Exactly. Awesome.
All right. Hey guys, so we're gonna talk to you about 4 ways of how to make money through rental income.
Yeah.
So Jay Investor has a bunch of knowledge here for you guys, and take it away, John.
Yeah, definitely. So there's obviously the obvious one, right, which is the cash flow side of it, and we're going to get into that. And then what are the other areas where you benefit? Mm-hmm. It's income, right? Some people say it is, say it isn't, but it's not about how much money you make. It's about how much money you save, right? But definitely we're looking to hear feedback from you guys. Like, share, subscribe. Let us know what you think about what we're trying to show you there. And obviously if we left things out, it's just a short amount of time, in an episode, we're trying to get as much as we can.
Yeah, definitely leave some comments, any questions or anything like that too that you have about this episode. So let's go around through the 4 ways, because I know a lot of times when people think about, making money through an investment property, they only think about just the, how much they're going to make in profit after, they've rented out all the apartments.
Yeah, but you know what? More than that. There's a mix though, right? Because I think if you talk to the older generation, it's just like, hey, my tenants are going to pay the mortgage and they're excited about that. They got a house that's going to be paid, right? And the house is worth $500,000 and then whatever. At their time it was worth $50,000. Now it's like $500,000, right? They're so happy about that, right? Oh, they're just going to pay the mortgage for me and that's it. But no one makes money off of that. You can't really eat the bricks, Right. So it's like you follow the formula. If you've been following our different episodes, you'll see that there's the cash flow formula and stuff that we work with. You should be going, again, every market's different. I'm talking about here in Jersey, right? Should be looking somewhere around $3,000 per property, right? Okay. So if you're doing that, that's your obvious first one, which the first one is cash flow. That's number 1, right? It's all about cash flow, not just pay the actual mortgage. That's already assumed in what I'm saying here. It's that plus an extra amount in profit. Right? The thing about it is, after you pay the mortgage, you have to pay different people. You have to make sure, like, if you need to get a tenant placed, you got to pay for a realtor. You got to make sure that you have repairs and stuff like that. You got to physically have the money to pay for those things.
Correct.
So it's not always like you can grab those $3,000 a month and just go to Vegas and do your thing. Yeah. You got to make sure that you cover certain things, right? Okay. And every house there's always spending. So that's the first one, right? Cash flow. Make sure the cash flow is healthy and stuff like that. That's the obvious one. Mm-hmm. Now keep in mind, if I were to make $3,000 in a W-2 job or a 1099, most of that's pulled back by the IRS, right? So my second thing that's an actual benefit for having real estate is depreciation, right? Mm-hmm. So what you do is, if you're buying a $500,000 house, you depreciate that over a 27.5-year period, right? Gotcha. It's real easy math. You grab the number at the top, 500,000, you divide that by 27.5, and then that number is a number that you write off for the next 27.5 years, right? Okay. Basically. Yep. So that gets completely netted out. So what that means is, if you're bringing in $3,000 per property, right? That's $36,000 for the year, right? And you're depreciating 27.5 of the amount. So let's say we're buying a $500,000 house. I'm doing the calculation right here. Follow me if you want. 500,000, right? And we're dividing that by 27.5. So in the year's time, I'm writing off $18,181.
Okay.
Right? So out of the $36,000, I'm writing off half of it right there just for owning the house. No big deal. Okay? Then you have other things like taxes, you have other things like repairs and stuff like that. So for me, I see like the repairs and the capital expenses as number 3. Because what's going to end up happening is you're going to put in some money into these things, but those are going to be the areas where you're raising the actual value of the house. Right? With raising the actual value of the house, I can go out to a bank, I can do a cash out refi. This can actually be making money towards the next house, so I can go start down payment there, whatever. Okay. So number 3 for me is like the repairs. You write all those things off also.
Got it. And just so you guys know too, this is also through an LLC. Because through an LLC, obviously, that's how we're deducting all these things on our taxes and stuff like that. But yeah, anyway.
Not for tax purposes. We're not tax professionals or nothing like that. Not financial advice. We have to say that. But definitely, you can talk to your CPA or your accountant that runs all your stuff, and they'll tell you some of these same things, right? And so some of these things are not very obvious too, you know? You have your cash flow, which is obvious. Then you have your depreciation, which is obvious. Then you have your repairs and stuff like that, which can lead to other things. Not so obvious. It's kind of like fixing the plumbing in your house. You kind of need it when you flush the toilet, but at the end of the day, it's like one of those things that you're not really showing off to people when you come over your house, right? And then the final one is actually the appreciation in the house. So typically real estate, they say every 6 to 10 years actually double in value. I mean, we've seen that when you were growing up, your houses were around 50,000 to 100,000.
Exactly.
And now we're seeing about 5 times that amount. And I'm not 80 years old, so it's definitely gone up faster than double, right? In that time span. So so those are the different areas there. Appreciation is also one of those things that don't help you either on the actual books.
Correct.
But it does help your net worth.
Right.
And with your net worth going up, it makes it more easier to apply different, different programs,
to get more money. To
exactly.
You can
buy,
like that. Different projects or different properties.
Exactly. So if you're holding those things, that is also income, and it's also something that like the IRS is not going to tax because it's value on something you haven't cashed out on.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
And one of the main things in looking at this, talking about like not how much you make, but how much you keep, is on the tax side of things. If all said and done, let's say we do end up paying $10,000 worth of actual positive tax on this one house that we have, right? The tax rate on it, since it's passive income, is going to be 15%, right?
Wow.
So, I mean, you and I, you look at your W-2 and you look at your 1099 and things like that. I mean, what percentage are you paying at, right? If you make anywhere above 50,000, you're paying at 32% or 28% and stuff like that between federal, state, and all that type of stuff. So there's a lot of it that the IRS takes back. But because on the real estate side of it, right, you're a landlord, you're providing housing, you're providing jobs for people because you're doing certain things and all that, you're helping the economy enormously. The IRS, treats that a little bit differently, right? So 15% versus 32% really makes me want to make that shift into financial freedom, right? Correct. I want to go into saying I want to make the most money on this side that's 15% at worst being taxed versus on this side, if I do very successful evenly, I'd be somewhere around 40% or 39%, whatever the case may be. Right. So that's just kind of like the way that I see it. Okay. But every single stream of income has their own way of making money. And if not done properly, you can get taxes taken off at a different rate. So understanding these things is like really important, right? I mean, how do you see things like when you look at these things, financial freedom and things like that? What do you think about when you see like you deal with clients all the time getting into that type of scenario? What is your goals around that? You think?
What was the question again?
He's not paying attention because he doesn't have a name.
My phone was ringing.
There's a lot there. There's a lot there.
But it was a lot. It was a lot. Damn it, John! You caught me off guard. Telling me these things.
No, I'm gonna. All right, I'll talk a little bit about myself. Okay. All right, I'll talk a little bit because I just ramble.
I'm sorry.
Maybe I'll put a framework for what I'm trying to ask you, and then you'll answer it there.
I need a guy holding like the cue card in that. Here's the question.
The teleprompter.
There you go. Teleprompter.
Next page.
A few more episodes, you can get that.
Yes, exactly. So. When I noticed that shift in real estate, 4 ways of making money and things like that, I saw it as a cheat code to say to myself, I'm going to try to make money in the way that I can keep most of it in my pocket, right? So a lot of this is 4 ways to make best way to make money in real estate, but at the same time, how much do I keep what I'm actually making, right?
Right.
You know,
that's the most important part.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what I'm supposed to do is do a lot less W-2 or 1099 work, and then shift into just passive income.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny because when you look at it, right, you're doing passive income. So I'm sitting with you here right now, but if you really are thinking about it, right, think about this meter, right? The meter is moving on an hour by hour basis. The same thing you do at your job, right? If you go into your job and you punch in 9 to 5, you did 8 hours worth of work, right? Minus lunch. And then that meter stops when you go home at 5 o'clock. You drive and you get mad at traffic and stuff like that, you're not getting paid, right? But for landlords, it's a little different. Our clock goes for 24 hours, doesn't stop.
Yep.
And divide out all the hours in the actual month, and once that month is done, all of that money is earned.
Correct.
But it's earned on a passive way.
Right.
I don't really have to do anything for that to kind of happen. Every time I add a house to it, that meter goes up a little more aggressive and a little bit stronger per hour, right? So it is a different way to think about things. Doesn't mean I sit around on my couch and not do anything since there's a meter that's moving. Okay. I feel very motivated to kind of make that meter go more aggressively.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Right? So in the beginning, you're doing a lot of that upfront work and stuff like that, but then eventually it just continues to do things even when you're on vacation, when you're doing your things and all that stuff. But, you do have situations where, you got to pick up a phone call, talk to this person, talk to that person. Of course, yeah. But you're on a beach drinking, a nice little drink, so it's not that bad, right?
Jonathan's favorite drink is the sex on the beach.
I was going to go for a Mai Tai, but this is a kid show, isn't it, right? No, it's for all ages. No, right.
Yeah, I'll be impressed if I see some kid has hey, I got 5 income properties, buddy.
Dude, I don't want to go off topic, but there was a kid that was talking to someone saying how awesome. They bought this house in the Philadelphia area, and he was okay. That's completely off topic, but he was making rental income. The kid,
he was
good
like
for him, 13 years old, man.
Good for him. That's awesome, man.
I love that.
That's
Power
awesome.
to him. But for me, what I started noticing is, I said, okay, I make X amount of dollars on the W-2 side. I make this much on the passive income side. Okay. What can I do to keep myself into the financial freedom area, all while making sure that my business is not choked, right? Yeah. So right now in my financial freedom journey, I'm kind of like I would say about 60 to 70% of the way. Okay. And what I use to gauge there is I'm looking at my business and I'm saying, okay, can my business generate double the amount of profit that I need? Double from what I make. Okay. So then I can pay myself on this side paying 15% tax or less, right? Depending on how much I write off. Right. Yep. Right? 15% or less versus on this side paying 37 to 39%. Yeah. Right? Yep. So making that shift over, I feel that maybe three more houses I'd be able to get there. Okay. And that's pretty close, right? I'm looking to try to get to, and you'll be there along the way.
Yes, sir.
So, but again,
I don't think it's going to be 3 either. You're going to stop. You're going to just, at that point, it's just stay.
See, I don't have to stop because, today, it'll still move at the same speed when I make double.
Exactly.
Because I can make the double. Let's just put numbers out there. Let's just say like 20,000, right? A month. Profit, right? And so I can get 10, pay that towards the business. So if you do easy math, right? Every 10 months is $100,000. Yep. I could buy a house every 10 months, right? But then I can also continue to pay myself $10,000 a month, right? So, and then it's the same as like my paycheck that I would get at my job or something like that, as an example, right? It's not these are not real numbers, but that happens. I can live my same life on the personal side. On the business side, the business can continue to invest at the speed that it's doing right there. Yeah. Right? Yeah, and so like you said, I'm not going to stop there. That's right. So 10 months from now, right? When we get the next house, that's another 3,000 thrown into the month there, right? So instead of it being 10 and 10, now it's 23,000. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the business 1,500 and give myself 1,500 so that I motivate myself. Got it. Right? Yep. And so as we keep building up houses, we're adding it $1,500 a month at a time. So you still feel like you're getting that raise and you still feel like your business is still moving, but also something we're not counting, and it's really hard to kind of like do that, is the 5 to 8% of rental increases that you would get on a yearly basis, right? And some people look at it and they're like, well, it's 60 to 80 bucks a month or something like that. Multiply that by 15, 20 units. Yeah. It adds up, you know? So if you have 20 units and it's 80 bucks a month, that's $1,600 a month. Right. Which could be a whole new apartment, right? Yeah. A new apartment, right? But instead it's just a rental increase. And that goes on forever, right? It's not like that doesn't end. So now that you kind of understand where the question's coming from, how are you thinking, strategy wise, like as far as like, financial freedom and stuff, like what would it take for you to kind of get in that mode where this takes over and, your entrepreneurship starts?
Like investment opportunity wise?
Could be anything you feel, because I know you're into crypto, you're into real estate, you're into a lot of different things, right?
Yeah.
I'm a little bit into crypto, not as much as you, but a little bit into XRP, baby. XRP the standard.
I'm holding with crypto right now, man.
It's not going to make you financially free yet because it's a bear market.
And you know what though? In a few years, hopefully it will.
Okay.
And then that way, we're getting even more properties and stuff like that, and then we're just making a killing, man. And, but at the end of the day, that's what the goal is, right?
Yeah.
To save that 20% to get the income property, right? To get that $100,000, boom, put that down. Now you're saving so much money, you're not paying PMI because you already paid the 20%.
Yeah.
Makes so much sense.
Yeah.
And then, right off the bat, with a 3-unit, with rents in here in New Jersey, you're looking at profit of at least $3,000 a month.
Yeah.
After paying your mortgage and everything like that. Mind you, like you mentioned before, there's some things that you have to save and, keep on the side for rainy days and stuff.
Yep.
But just doing that and then, being able to, do some work on the property and then ended up, refinancing that later down the road, do cash out refi. Now you got some extra money to play with, man, and then you just kind of just keep doubling down, man. And eventually it gets to the point where I feel like it was just kind of copy and paste. You're just like, Dave, find me the same exact house with the same exact numbers. Let's get things going.
That's
man.
it.
And then, now it's to the point where before we were like kind of just scrambling all over, man.
Yeah.
Like, where do we find it? Blah, blah, blah. Now it's got to the point where it's just like, hey, awesome, here's this house. Do we got $100,000 yet? Damn it! All right, we gotta wait for it. All right. We'll keep an eye on it. And we'll have a list of houses ready to go.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. So that's. But yeah, man. That's the whole point, man. It's just to have that passive income.
Yeah.
I feel like that's everyone's goal, right?
Yeah.
Everyone wants to create passive income, and in the beginning, it takes hard work. That's when I got into real estate and stuff like that, right? I was just, all right, man. I'm 1099. Yeah, it sucks every single time I gotta pay taxes and stuff. You're over here breaking my heart, talking about, oh man, 15%. I'm just like, God damn it, like pisses me off, But at the same time, it's awesome though. But 1099, you gotta pay a little more taxes and stuff. But you're hustling, right? And you have to have that goal in mind, and it's so important just to write that down, right? Keep your goals and have short-term goals and long-term goals, so that way you know what you're working towards. But yeah, man, if that's the case, man, it's definitely getting to passive income. So that way you can just make money while you're sleeping, man. And just try to multiply that as many times as you can and over, and that's the whole point of this channel, man. It's just to kind of be like, all right, cool, awesome, you got your first income property. Here's some things we learned along the way to get your second and your third and your fourth and your fifth, because it does become to a point where it's just like, I just got to keep going, man. I got to keep getting raises, And I love how you phrase that, because it's a raise that you're giving yourself every single time, man. You bust your ass working a 40-hour job, for like a 3% raise every single year, when it's just like you can just boop, you know what I mean? With a snap of the finger, man. It takes a little hard work at first, man, but once you get it done, man, once you just execute, all those fears and everything just kind of take a back seat now, because now you're just like, wait a second, I did this, and now I know the formula. Now I know what to do, and hey, there's things that I can learn along the way, but you're gonna just keep going and going, and then the second one's gonna get easier, then the third one's gonna get easier, the fourth one gets easier, and then obviously you run along some hiccups along the way, but now you're at that point though where you just you're doing it. And
I think those are learning experiences, and a couple things here. We didn't talk about this in our agenda, but I actually want to talk about that copy and paste scenario that you have. And we want to tell all of our community people, if they need help from us, let us know.
Right.
We actually have some that we've been helping already. And little by little, we'll bring them into the show, right? We had one of the ones actually started investing now. So, right?
Nice.
You know about them. You dealt with them. And so we're going to talk about them here, too. We're going to invite them and see what it's like for them, because we want that first-time experience, too.
Correct.
So, keep following us, because we're going to do that. And maybe we'll do that for you as well.
Right.
And I think that is it. We figure out a formula. You copy and paste it and just keep doing it over and over and over again. It's like if you had unlimited cash, why wouldn't you do something like this? Right. We know the path, and it can help.
And then the things that come in between, because you can find a really good income property, but tenants might not be paying great rents, right? So it's super important to know the laws, right, in New Jersey.
Sure.
And, just things like that. So, stay tuned to the channel. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment any questions you guys might have. We're going to give you guys all the tips and tricks we possibly know. And can share with you guys. And if you guys have any cool tips and tricks, hey, feel free to share as well. As a community, we're here to help everybody. Everybody help everybody.
Everybody help. By the next episode, Dave will figure out a name. Yeah. I promise you. So like, subscribe, follow. This is awesome. Episode 6 in the books, man.
Yes, sir.
That's it.
Love it, man.
Take care.
Go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave.